What happens when your beneficiary is your pet? Hi, Nancy Bover here with Agape and Next Steps. What happens if you have a pet and you pass away? Typically, what most people do is they just kind of make arrangements for somebody else to adopt that animal when they are no longer here. But things have changed over the past number of years. Once upon a time, pets were seen just as companions, and cats were meant to catch mice, and dogs were meant to hunt. But in recent times, our pets have become not just more of our family, but more and more money is being spent on pets all the time. It's a huge business right now. As many of you can attest, people are spending thousands of dollars on their animals, keeping them alive, keeping them healthy, treating illnesses and chronic conditions with their pets that in years gone by were simply a reason to put the pet out of their misery, have them euthanized at the vets. But now we've even heard the phrase people refer to their pets as their fur babies, and they are treated more and more like they are children, for lack of a better term. But what does that mean when people pass away? Well, under the law, pets are still property. That means that they can't directly inherit anything. And that's why people will set up a pet trust. Let's go back to assuming that somebody is just going to take over the care of your beloved pet. There can be a lot of expense in maintaining that pet's health, that pet's lifestyle. Even something as simple as annual checkups, annual shots, and food sometimes can be too much for another caregiver to be able to afford. And then what happens to your pet? That person might have the best intentions, but if they can't afford to feed your pet or to have the pet's annual vet bills taken care of, that doesn't leave them a lot of options, which means oftentimes what happens is they do end up having the pet euthanized or rehoming the pet, which obviously wasn't your intention, and it most likely wasn't their intention when they agreed to take care of your pet. This is an area of estate planning that a lot of people overlook. But pets are living longer and longer, and in some cases, there are animals, there are pets that do live for an extended period of time. These are all things that you really need to discuss with the person who is planning to take on the role of caring for your pet. You might think that your daughter or your best friend is going to take Rover because they loved Rover so much. But loving that pet and being able to caretake for that pet are two different things. So while that addresses the issue of the person who is going to end up taking care of your pet, what does this mean for the executor of your estate? Well, until the executor is able to pass that pet on to the person who you want to take care of that animal, they are actually responsible for all the care of that pet. That means the feeding, the veterinary bills, housing the pet. That has to be taken into consideration as well. There's so many things when you're doing your estate planning that might seem like they're fairly obvious, but in reality, they're not as easy as one would anticipate. When doing your estate planning, there are many things that people think are very simple. Quite frankly, most of the people that I deal with always say that their estate is very simple. But even something that on the surface might seem simple, there can often be subtle complexities in behind the scenes. And that is why it is worthwhile for you to meet with somebody like myself. I'm a certified executor advisor, and I help people make these plans so that they do understand what potential pitfalls could be in their estate plan to make sure that they are managing and arranging things based on everything in their current circumstances. As always, I've got an article in more detail over on my website. The link is over in the description box. Please take a look at it. And if I can ever be of any help, just reach out and I'll be happy to see where I can provide you some assistance. Thanks very much, as always, for joining me here today, and I look forward to sharing more with you next time. Bye for now.